After a busy off-season of detailed planning and preparation, first-time Division 2 coach Mark Renner led the Killer Bees in our new Guernsey design to a monster win over Southern Districts at Fred's Pass. With an 8-0 first quarter, The Dogs never let up and the game turned into little more than a training drill. There was an even contribution across the ground with Twin Towers in Elvis and Darves and Hamstring Koopy always dangerous. Captain Disco Ferner played an outstanding Leon Davis type role, rebounding off half-back. Debutant Eric Creature Clanky dominated the ruck taps and found plenty of dogs streaming through the centre. The Bulldogs played out the 4 quarters in a very good first-up game in humid conditions. The Killer Bees were once against ruthless under rookie coach Mark Renner. Shadow O'Brien had a swag of possessions and Gary Elvis Hislop helped himself to 5 sausage rolls. Once again, all 24 contributed to a 131-point smashing of Waratahs. After 2 massive wins, the Division 2 Blokes suffered their first defeat of the season with a scrappy game played in hot, windy conditions, going down by 12 points to the Concreters. Coach Renner commented that too much was left to too few. Matt Lynch was best on ground across halfback, with Brendan Bulldog the only multiple goal kicker with 2. The Killer Bees bounced back in emphatic fashion with a great victory against old foe University. Fielding only one side this season, Uni were up and about early. However, a 4-quarter performance ensured a Dogs win. Brendan Sandcrab Lee played a super first game back at Banks, and Disco Ferner popped up for 4 goals on the prematurely balding Carmine in the last quarter to kill the game and lead all scorers. The Killer Bees were brutal for 4 quarters of footy against a lacklustre opposition, devastating Tracy Village by 106 points. Tom Clive Peters was the general across halfback and rightfully awarded best on ground. Mark Chadwick kicked 4 majors before dislocating his shoulder. The Jabiru trip is never an easy one, and this year was no different. The Killer Bees didn't play their most attractive game of footy, but nevertheless were very good when challenged and responded with a 17-point victory. Inaccurate kicking was the only thing that kept Jabiru in the game deep into the final stanza. Clive Peters was banging down the A-grade door with another best-on performance across half-back, while Brendan and Stevie Bulldog did the damage up forward when it counted with 2 goals apiece. The Bulldogs notched up their 4th 100-plus point victory over the Palmerston Magpies for the season. With winners all across the park, the boys were very impressive, playing exceptional team football, pumping Palmerston by 128 points. Cam Hardy was excellent in the middle, being awarded his first best on ground for the season. Elvis was at his devastating best, slotting home 7 majors and giving off numerous other opportunities. In another lopsided game, the Killer Bees were sensational to watch, completely dismantling the Pint Green machine by 132 points. Any game where the opposition only scores 1 goal is always great to watch. It's even better when the Wardens are involved. Josh Jeffries was best on ground across halfback, while the human wrecking ball, Gary Hislop, kicked another bag of goals with 5. It was the Mindle Sharks' turn to take on the mighty Blue and White, and they definitely put up more resistance than in the past few seasons. Unsympathetic to their progress, the Dogs came out and put them back in their place with a sound 70-point win. Returning from a 2-week sabbatical, Matthew Lynch turned in a solid performance in the back half, whilst Big Fazza and Coops did the damage on the scoreboard with 3 goals each. After a very sloppy start, the Killer Bees were looking down the barrel of an embarrassing loss to Uni in Willow's 200th game for the mighty Bulldogs. After kicking 2 goals 11, the boys peeled off some exciting footy to storm home with a wet sail and run over the tired Rats in an accurate display of goal kicking. Cam Hardy was best of field, and Gary Hislop again the chief destroyer with 3 majors and the mark of the day. And Carmine was left pondering his decision not to join the ranks of the Bulldogs as University went down by 16 points. It was another big win for the B grade, showing Southern Districts how it's done with a 15-goal belting. Shane Farrier was dominant with 4 goals from centre half forward and ably supported by Darcy Brook, who had it on a string all day. Top of the ladder, Banks showed why Pints weren't going to make the finals, putting in a brilliant effort and smashing the Greenets in every position with a 22-goal hiding. Elvis was the star again with 6 majors, and Robbie Cheslett received his first best on ground for the season with a great performance around the ground. The Killer Bees were exceptional on TIO2, defeating Waratah by 39 points. The boys were challenged early on and showed exceptional run, carry and fitness in the second half to record a strong win. It was the Elvis show again, booting 6 majors and handing off at least another half dozen. Hislop was well supported by Mick Porno McRae with 4 goals, and Joel Fridge Ettridge had a great game through the middle. Halting the Banks' onslaught of the season, the Fishmongers again clipped our wings. Olympic were a more desperate outfit. In pretty average conditions, the boys played catch-up footy all night. A power failure at TIO nearly saved the day, but even with a 20-minute delay, there was no avoiding the inevitable, eventually going down by a disappointing 22 points. Super Jeffries was best on ground with a good game across the half-back, and Elvis was the only multiple goal kicker on an average night in front of the big sticks. In a well-fought game, the Bulldogs returned to the winner's circle against a highly rated Jabiru outfit. The game went down to the line and the boys had to put in a fierce 4-quarter effort, winning by a close 7 points. Mark Chadwick was his usual Energizer Bunny self with a best on ground performance, and Brendan Ephraim Bulldog was the only multiple goal kicker in the tight contest. Round 16 saw Mindle return to their previous year's form, putting up no more of a fight than a few traffic cones. Banks ran out 113-point victors. Matt Dunn was best of field in a variety of roles, with Stevie Bulldog running amok kicking 6. Even Morgan the Yeti kicked a goal. The Killer Bees made very light work of an insipid Palmerston Magpies, tearing them a new one by 134 points. Coach Renner would have been well pleased with the selfless acts and hard work from all 24. Chris Hoyne was impressive in the midfield and must have been causing a few issues at the selection table. Stevie Bulldog had a mixed afternoon with 4 sensational goals, 2 send-offs and then 2 matches on the sidelines. Whilst officially a forfeit, the B grade still took to the field and provided the cellar dwellers with some players to make it more competitive. A week out from the finals, the boys played a strong brand of footy. Best on ground was Alex Choate for kicking Tracy Village's first goal.